Let's try again. Hopefully you will find me. I'll wait for you for a little bit and see if anyone pops up. But I don't know what happened there. It just all cut out. So this emoji. And right, we've got one person here. Hi, Anne. Poonam, you're here. Fantastic. We're building up. Andy's here. Great. Sil, Sarah Marginson, good to see you. And once we've got a few more people, and I don't know what that was all about, but it happens. And of course, Mercury is actually still retrograde, but it goes direct tomorrow. But of course, remember, it'll still be in its shadow for a couple of weeks or so. So we can still expect some technical difficulties and problems. Hello, Leaves and Gears. Hi, nice to meet you. Rebecca from Ohio. Okay, good morning, Soul Fam. Poonam, all of you, it's so good to see you. Ursa 7, fantastic. I don't know what happened, but here we are. And so let's see if we can gather together some people. Oh, I know, Poonam, all the tech difficulties. It's just, but anyway, that aside, actually, this is quite interesting because I've recorded another Astrobite, which will be up tomorrow. And I recorded the full moon in Libra, which is going to be next weekend, next Sunday. And so that'll go up sometime this week. But one of the things that it suddenly occurred to me about was the fact that Mercury and Venus were still retrograde. And they, apart from the fact Mercury goes direct tomorrow, they were retrograde last week when the debacle of what has been unfolding in the world, let's just call it the world, with the, interesting decisions made by the current United States administration. And I think we're absolutely kind of like, I mouthed that. So, yeah, still finally direct tomorrow. So I actually think that what will happen, because those decisions were made when both Mercury and Venus were retrograde, Venus is conjunct Saturn currently. Saturn, limitations, slowdown, structure. Now, what I actually think is that the US administration will have to go back and relook at the whole situation, because Venus represents money and finance, along with relationship and love and all of that stuff. But basically, it rules Taurus and Libra, where the full moon is in a week's time. I think that the US administration will have to go back, return to the drawing board and draw up a new kind of a system for how they're going to proceed with their plans to basically tax the world on anything we want to import into the United States. So what's happened to Andy? Your dog's limping. Oh no, your espresso maker bit the biscuit yesterday. Your husband cancelled pet insurance. No. And you have so much paperwork to do for so many things. Mercury direct tomorrow. Mercury stations direct tomorrow. So that'll be good. But yes, exactly, Andy. Maybe the US administration were not listening to their astrologers, because I'd have said, not a good time. I'd wait before you launch this plan in the pretty garden at the back of the house. So if we think about that, and also the fact that, for instance, today and tomorrow, we actually have what I think is kind astrological energy. And if you watched my Astrobite from yesterday, I go into it in depth, and you'll see why I'm not too worried about how long a recovery takes for the world economy. Because, I mean, yes, it's not going to be easy. I'm not saying that. And yes, the people at the bottom of the list and the bottom of the pile always are the ones that suffer most. And that is grossly unfair. I absolutely get that. However, if the ones at the top of the pile can help to pull the people up from the bottom to somewhere at least in a middling position where they can at least pay their bills and feed themselves and keep roofs over their heads, it would be really good. So I just think we're going to be very surprised by what unfolds this week in America, because I do think they're going to have to absolutely review the whole situation. I've sung that song before, Reviewing the Situation, which was from Oliver. And not Scrooge, but I can't remember what his name was in Oliver, but he wasn't a very nice man, and he made people do lots of nasty things and work for nothing. So, Andy, let me see what you're saying. Let's pray for that to happen. Everyone needs to be able to have safe shelter, nourishment, safety, opportunities. Bill Sykes, that was it, Rebecca. Bill Sykes, yeah, and Nancy. I played Nancy once in Oliver, As Long as He Needs Me, and all of that, and then died because that's what happens to her. So yes, I just feel that with the current astrology, let's just see what happens tomorrow when Mercury stations direct. I just feel there's going to be some backpedaling, more negotiation. I think the negotiation is going to be a little bit confusing to start with, whilst Mercury is still in Pisces. So we're just going to see a little bit of a kind of, that's going to be just quite difficult to start with. And Uranus, you see, and I talk about this in one of the videos I've recorded this afternoon. Uranus, remember, at the moment is at 25 degrees of Taurus. Remember, Taurus is about money and luxury things and comfort and stability and security. Uranus is shocks and the unexpected. It's turning everything upside down. Uranus is currently conjunct the fixed star Algol. Now, if you remember, Algol is about beheading. So if we bring that forward a few hundred years to the 21st century, this is about people losing their heads, leaders losing their heads, losing their position. So I think we're going to see quite a lot of changing of the guard around the world with financial directors or finance ministers of various governments and even world leaders whilst we have this energy. Uranus, we have this ongoing sextile from Uranus to both Venus and Saturn that are conjunct and to Mars in Cancer. This is interesting energy, and I have talked about this in the Astrobite that went out yesterday, so I'm not going to repeat myself too much. But basically, Saturn is trying to bring some sense and sensibility into everything and saying, whoa, slow down, stop. Venus is retrograde. That's good. It goes direct at the end of this week, just around the same time as the full moon in Libra. Now, I think we're going to see more upsets this week and more roller coaster behavior in the markets. I think they will gain a little bit and will slip back down again. It's a bit like that childhood game, Snakes and Ladders. It really has got to the point where it's A throw of the dice determines which way they are going. So we will see more disruption this week, but I think we will see that the people that have got to make the important decisions are really going to have to go back to the drawing board and review, as I said, the situation. And today, okay, we have this energy of Saturn conjunct Venus. Saturn, remember, is about maturity and wisdom also. And my sense is that Venus is going to be a little bit kind of drowning in the Pisces numinosity and lack of clarity for a while. So she is kind of representing how we view the economy and our finances. Yes, exactly, Andy. Reviewing, reflection, redoing are important for everything in life. Absolutely, Andy. Fantastic. That is absolutely as it is. Keep the live chat going, because then by that way I'll know that we're still online, because when it does that, I get worried and think I'm just talking to the numinous, which wouldn't be a surprise, would it, with Mercury still retrograde and stuck in Pisces. So hello, Cosmic BL. Hello from Cyprus, Christine. Good to see you here. So let's have a look at tomorrow, because Mercury goes direct tomorrow. And at the same time, it will be conjunct the North Node. So there is something that will be unfolding tomorrow as Mercury goes direct. Hello, Jim. You're still listening luminously. I love it. I love it. Well, I'm luminously trying to, I will just have to send all of this astrology weekly overview by telepathy if we get cut off again, and just go, okay, Mercury, you win, because who knows? But Mercury conjunct the North Node, whatever is going to unfold tomorrow when Mercury stations direct, is going to collect us effectively, collectively, in our collective destiny and on an individual level. So I think tomorrow is actually quite an important day. And there's this focus of this energy in Pisces. What are you saying? You have to comment on this. You love my nail color. Oh, thank you, Poonam. Yes, a sort of glistening pink. Yeah, good at receiving, less at emitting. But you know, we do have to stay on a frequency of positivity, and I know that it's not easy with the current stuff going on. It's just not. It's just not. So what we have to do is, this is where we have to have Piscean faith. And we really do have to kind of dig down deep to find that sometimes. Hold a steady course through this tumultuously rough ocean of Pisces as we move forward through this week. That is the best thing we can do. And clearly, markets are going to be affected, and we are going to see people's expenditure is going to really contract. There's Saturn conjunct Venus. Venus, that part of us that wants to indulge in luxury, you know, and luxury goods and everything. And Saturn is going, no, can't do it. Can't do it. Alina, oh, bless you. Thank you. I am energized, actually. I've just, as I say, I've recorded 2 videos this afternoon, and I've just done one with the lovely Sarah for our channel, which is already uploaded. So you can check that out later. And we use the divining rods to channel non-physical energy into yes, no answers. And that So that's just gone up on our Channeling and Stranger Things channel. How is the rest of this week going to unfold? Because I've got a great word for the day and I just can't wait to get to it. And you see, the rest of the week, I think we've just got to tread water, like Mars in Cancer that doesn't actually move back into Leo, or we could say forwards into Leo until the 18th of April. So it is going to be, you know, we've still got a bit more to ride out before we get Mars that, of course, rules the full moon that we're going to have, or rules with Venus, actually, the full moon next Sunday, because Mars rules Aries, so it rules the sun, which is in opposition to the full moon ruled by Venus. So Mars and Venus, the masculine and the feminine energies are very key at the moment. And I think what's interesting is that, of course, we've got the Sun, Chiron, and Eris, the dwarf planet Eris, closely conjunct in Aries. Now, I think this is interesting because the Sun is conjuncting Chiron on the 12th of April. And as I said, I think we have to tread water and just do doggy paddle this week because, you know, if anything, I think just have a news blackout because yes, Jim, patience furthers, absolutely. It's just, you know, it's just difficult. So what we have to do with this energy is sit tight, steer a steady course through these tumultuous oceans of Pisces, because the healing can come. But with Eris in Aries, conjunct Chiron and the Sun, we've already seen it, haven't we? Eris is very fed up. She's saying, I don't like this. And we saw, I believe, in the United States yesterday, a lot of protests, people protesting in an orderly fashion on the streets against what they see as a bad choice by the current administration. We've also been seeing some protests in Europe as well. Spain, I think it was Friday and Saturday or yesterday, there was a big protest in Madrid. So it is actually happening everywhere. And I think it's very fortunate that we are lucky enough to be able to protest and make it clear that maybe we are doubting our choice of vote for the governments that we vote in, and that we want to call them to order and make them aware that perhaps they're not actually really sticking to the mandate that we voted in. So I think we have to be kind of aware of that. So Chiron is our collective wound as well, because it figures greatly in the full moon that we have in Libra, which is next Sunday, in fact. And of course, I'll be doing a live in the evening for the week ahead, so I will talk about that. I'm just going to have a quick look at your chat. You've got, oh gosh, you've got a stiff neck and pain in the right shoulder, Poonam. Yeah. Well, you know, I suffer, as you know, from shoulder pain as well, and I live on painkillers, which is not the best way to live one's life. There have been protests in London as well, have there? Okay, I haven't seen that. I haven't really seen the news today. You went out on the streets, Jim? Okay. Good for you. Good for you. And it looks like everybody has found me finally on this. For anyone who's just joined, the first live stream, which was the advertised live stream and the programmed one, just froze about 30 seconds in. And so I just cancelled it and just set up a new live stream. So I think it's just called Astrology for the week ahead, and no hashtags, nothing. So what is happening with the United States is they are taking the scab off a deep worldwide wound. And for the healing to take place, and it's interesting, isn't it? Because they actually use the analogy of when you have a patient in surgery, it probably gets worse before it gets better. Well, let's hope they're right, because in many ways, I don't want to criticize the decisions, because what we need is recovery. We need whatever this mad, crazy idea is to work, but I think they will have to tweak it. And I think that the energy from the astrology is suggesting they will most definitely be almost unable to not tweak it. They will be pushed into a situation of having no choice but to tweak it. And Cosmic BL, there were protests in Montreal. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Protest is a manifestation in French. How interesting. Oh, see me, you've got to go for back surgery too. Listen, look at me, I'm fine. It was the best thing I could have done. I have no pain, just in my shoulder, which I'm still going to have surgery on. Hello, Nikki Hensel. Good to see you. Oh, do you? Okay. Okay, so you're just over on the other island. I'm up here in Gozo, in Arla. So good to meet you, Nikki. No, we don't go to protests. I protest from my armchair, I have to say, because I couldn't do the standing up and the walking along and the holding of a board, but they have my support. So let's just have a think about this energy, because astrologically, all week, we really have this energy of Uranus sextiled by Saturn, Venus, and Mars. Maybe we need tougher energy. Maybe we have to invite in some stronger energy to get some movement past this blockage, because it is a bit like a kind of a big obstacle. Yeah, Punan, good thinking. Our pains feel like a manifestation of taking in all the external energies. You've got bone spurs, see me, impeding on your sciatic nerve on the left side. Ouch, that is very, very painful. I really sympathize. I've been through all of that, and it is horrible, horrible. So I think this week is going to be a little bit more of what we had last week. I have a feeling there's going to be quite strong, resistance. We may see more protests, but I think they will be gentle. And I think some of the protests, and what the word that keeps coming into my head is silent protests. You know how people often make a statement by the sound of their feet walking in the other direction, so that it's about no speech, just they just walk away. I wonder whether there will be some changing of the guard in the American administration. I just wonder. We will have to wait and see. Let me see what you're saying. You had your left hip replaced, Carol, and bone spurs removed. Yeah, it's great, isn't it? It really helps. That's nice, Jim. Gentle expression. We vote with our feet in the opposite direction. So In general, I would suggest you try not to get too wound up and frustrated by this energy that we have in abundance at the moment. And endeavor to, if we just each take care of our own pot, our own piggy bank, and that way, what's this wishing pool? You just pulled the death card. As I said, change in administration. Okay. And vote with your dollars too. Yes, Carol. Yeah, absolutely. That's interesting. You pulled the death card because it is about ending, change. We will see. And yeah, Cosmic BL, we're going through very important changes, and we've only just begun. Endings, definitely, you're saying, Wishing Pool Tarot. Thank you. I haven't got my tarot near me today, so I can't pull one. Never mind. You'll have to be our tarot card puller today. So you can pull us a card for the week. Oh, yes, see me. I love Mark Carney, your current PM. I think he's awesome. I do hope he gets back in because I think he's great. And he's just great. Yeah, thank you, Wishing Pool Tarot. We'll have that. We'll do that. Listen, I'm going to come on to the word for the week because really, astrologically, I've said what needs to be said for this week. We could talk about what the moon's doing. We can talk about lots of other things, but there won't be many astrobites this week. There's one tomorrow, and then there won't actually be another astrobite till Saturday because there are no major aspects that I feel are necessary to talk about. However, I do have a treat for those of you that like me and Brandon doing an episode together because we're doing one of our episodes on Thursday. So me and Conscious Medium Brandon Ross are going live on Thursday, whatever date that is, the 10th, and we're going live it's 4:00 Central European time, which I think is 10 o'clock in the morning Eastern time, and so on and so on and so on, going backwards across the United States and Canada. So we're going live, so that should be good. Hi, Janice, you've just joined us. In a rare weather for Donegal, bright sun, 17. It's hard. I think you probably mean it's probably hard to not think negative. Carol, as long as he lets me talk. Oh, don't worry. Mercury's direct. I'll be talking. I'll just slap him down. I will. The live chat. You can say, Brandon, be quiet. Let Penny speak. Let me finish my sentence, eh? Because he doesn't, does he? It's time the gloves are off, Christine. All bets are off. When administrations overstep their mark, there is no room to be a sycophantic. Now is about leadership. Go where others fear to tread. Oh, I love that, Christine. I love that. Very much love that. Listen, my word for the week, I think you'll like this, is Phoenix. Not Phoenix in America, but Phoenix, the mythical bird. Because if we need anything now, we need a phoenix. We need a phoenix to rise from the ashes. And so I looked up a little bit about the symbolism of the phoenix. It is a symbol of rebirth, immortality, and transformation, and rising up from destruction. And I thought, this feels right. Yes, to rise up from the ashes. And the origins of the symbolism of a bird that rises up from the ashes or is raised up from the ashes was in ancient Egypt, where it was called the Bennu bird. And the Bennu bird was a heron-like creature linked to the sun, creation, and rebirth. And it was associated with Ra, the sun god. Ooh, does that remind us of anyone? Ooh, let me think. Or we could talk about our vegetable soup and carrots. Jim, death card, ashes right before the phoenix appears. Yes, yes. Well, it was in Egypt, as I said, it was this Bennu bird was believed to rise from the sacred flame at Heliopolis. Now, in Greek mythology, the Greeks took inspiration from the Bennu bird and described the phoenix as a magnificent, radiant bird, often golden or red. And according to legend, the phoenix lived 500 to 1,000 years. Wow. When its time was up, it built a nest of aromatic wood, set itself on fire. Okay. And was reborn from its own ashes, but maybe it was reborn as a nicer being. The new phoenix would then carry the ashes of the old one to a sacred altar, continuing the cycle. Well, we can make of that what we choose. Yes, choose to. Earth of Seven, Sedna, who drowned and was reborn as the goddess of the sea. Yes. And Roman influence brought in the myth of the symbol of Rome as the eternal city, and the imperial soul that with undying and ever resurrecting. And also in Chinese and other cultures, it was the Feng Huang, which is a phoenix-like bird symbolizing virtue, harmony, and the union of yin and yang, which I think is quite interesting, bringing in that Mars-Venus, masculine, feminine energy. But it isn't associated with fire or rebirth in the same way. But it's always, I think, fascinating when you think how much these symbols are archetypally worldwide in the collective unconscious, as Carl Jung called it, so that we just kind of instinctively know that out of the death and the destruction, we get something new to work with. We have to use the tools that we're left with. So it is rebirth and transformation. It's immortality because it's the life, death, rebirth cycle. It's also about hope and renewal after hardship or loss, and that something greater can emerge. And that's what we want, because we shoot ourselves in the foot if we go into the negative and condemn what has been unfolding in the United States. We really do shoot ourselves in the foot. We don't do ourselves any favors. We have to grow up and think, okay, this is what's happening. How can I make this serve me in a positive way? It's about that kind of sense of spiritual ascension. Letting go of our ego, our irritation, our frustration of the old self to awaken to a higher state, to a higher frequency. So I found some interesting quotes for the phoenix rising from the ashes. Sylvia Plath said, "Out of the ashes I rise with my red hair, and I eat men like air." I think that vegetable soup better watch out, hadn't it? That sounds like the feminine is going to step in. Yes, thank you, Jim. The waste of distraction. Yeah. So we've got an unknown quote here, which is, like the phoenix, She will rise from the ashes of the flames and be reborn, stronger than ever before. Janet Fitch said, "The phoenix must burn to emerge." Now, we all have to go through these rites of passage, and it's as if the whole world is being put through a rite of passage. Don't fall victim to it. Allow yourself to be renewed by it. We come back fighting stronger. We come back united. Think of the fact that Mercury going direct tomorrow is conjunct the North Node, which is our collective destiny. We can make this work. There will be casualties, but ultimately we can make it work. There's another unknown quote here, which is, "I am the phoenix. I rise from the ashes of my own destruction." Interesting take. J.K. Rowling, of course, who wrote all the famous Harry Potter series, said, "Rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life." Oh, this is a lovely one. Elizabeth Edwards. "She stood in the storm, and when the wind did not blow her away, she adjusted her sails." And that's what we have to do with what's unfolding. We have to adjust our sails. It won't be forever. It never is. Because if there's one certainty in life, and you know this, it's that everything changes. There's an unknown quote here, which is, "Your past does not define you. It prepares you." We are being prepared by Saturn, I believe, to cope with what is going to unfold as Pluto moves further into Aquarius and Uranus moves into Gemini. So we have both these great, big, massive, maverick planets in air signs. Mars will be coming up to oppose Pluto again. That happened around the US election. This will be the third hit. That might be metaphorical. And that will be on the 27th of April at the same time as the new moon in Taurus. So that could be really telling. So there's another unknown one here that says, "The fire that once burned me is now the fire that fuels me." And that's what I mean when I say we have to turn it round. Like I think Jim has just said, imaging, adjust the sails and tack upwind. Exactly. That is the way. We should gather together, Simi said, on Saturday, April the 12th, in our homes to collectively manifest change in the US. Well, I think that has to be the world. Why not? Why not? We just set a time and we do it. There's another unknown here that is, oh, I've just said it. Hang on. You were never meant to stay in the ashes, rise. Then we've got Brianna Wiest. Every time you rise from the fire, you carry a little more of its power with you. I like that. I do like that. So that's our word for the week. Wishing Pool Tarot, if you're still there, do you want to pull us a card for the week to see what we get? That would be really interesting. Give them a good shuffle. And I'll have a look at the live chat. Let's just have a look. And Okay, so let's hope we're still all here. So just to let you know, I'm also going to do a live with Sarah next Saturday at the same time that this has gone out, and we're going to use divining rods and a pendulum to answer your questions. Oh, yeah, Andy, pull a card and let's see what we get, because Wishing Pool Tarot seems to have disappeared. But never mind, we will get a card because mine are over there and I can't get over there. Oh, Wishing Pool Tarot. No, the Death card came out again. Definitely about endings, rebirth, and transformation. Well, doesn't that fit so beautifully with the Phoenix? I think that is wonderful. I think that's wonderful. Poonam, we've just uploaded on our Channeling and Stranger Things a video where we're using the divining rods. I'm using them. Sarah's asking the questions. And you got the 9 of Cups. There you are, you see, Andy. It's all going to be all right. It's going to be okay. Because you know what? It always is. Because we have to decide. We have, if you remember what I say, we have infinite timelines going out in front of us from every given moment in time in our lives, unconsciously, these myriad infinite timelines. The choices, the decisions we make determine which timeline we go down, that then fans out into more timelines. Let's consciously choose to be on the timeline where this current difficult situation with the world economy gets solved easily, and that not too many people get hurt by it, and that it succeeds. Let's be on that timeline where the transformation, the rebirth can happen, and we can be the Phoenix and rise. Because the 9 of Cups, which Andy's just pulled, also for you personally, Andy, is lovely. I know you're having a lot of issues at the moment, but it's going to be okay. You've got 9 full cups. You've got a wish. I think we've all got a wish. Let's wish for common sense. Because common sense is what is needed at times like this. And that's why I'm very pleased for Canada that you have the wonderful Mark Carney in charge at the moment, because he's a cool guy and he knows his stuff. He really knows his stuff, and he's tough. Listen, he ran the Bank of England for several years. Nobody messed with him. And the British economy didn't do too badly when he was in charge of the Bank of England. So, let's have some faith. Let's choose that timeline where all of us collectively rise like the phoenix from the ashes. And so it is. I like that, Alina. That's lovely. And so it is. It's okay in the end. It's not okay. Yes. Do you know, I'd forgotten about that wonderful saying. Because if everything is okay, then how is it goes, Jim? It's if everything is not okay, then it's not the end. And you know it's not the end because everything's not okay. But you know it's the end when everything's okay. It was actually in the Marigold Hotel film, where one of the Indian people running the hotel says that to the ladies about, if it's not okay, then it's not the end. And you'll know it's the end when it's okay. And it's kind of like, oh, that's common sense. That's it. Thank you. I got it right, Jim. Thank you. Who are you following, Simi? I just want to look to see who you're following. I don't know. Okay. Listen, guys, I'm going to let you have an early night or an early morning because I've run out of, I have to say, I got totally thrown. Oh, Carney. Yes, Carney's great. I got totally thrown by the first go at the live stream not ending. It kind of discombobulated me. and it just knocked me off balance. So, but things do, and Mercury's retrograde. What can we say? You know, it's all going to be. Listen, it will be okay. And I do think that the current administration will have to make quite a lot of big changes and concessions, and we're going to start seeing that this week. I mean, for goodness sake. Tariffs on penguins in islands in the Antarctic. I mean, what can I say? What can I say? I mean, what are the penguins saying? They go, wah, wah, wah. They're not happy, those penguins. Anyway, on that wonderful note, oh, oh, thank you. A friend gave this to me for my birthday last year. Thank you. Oh, bless you, Jim. Thank you, because I just don't pick up a penguin. Yes. Listen, I am gonna go. I've had actually quite a busy afternoon. That's 3 videos I've done, and this is the 4th. So I'm gonna oh, Cosmic BL, your card is the dandelion. Not sure how to spell it. Well, that's close. I get what it is. Make a wish. Dandelion heads, and you blow them and you go, and everything will be all right. Perfect. Because those seeds go out. And I think that's lovely. I like the dandelion. That's great. And let's think. You're so welcome, everybody. Listen, puffins are offended. I love it. Yeah. And what about the seals? The poor walruses and the seals. They're not very happy. I love you all, Soul Fam. I think you're absolutely awesome. Yeah, what a day. What a day. Well, here we go. Listen, guys, I will be back live on my other channel, Channeling and Stranger Things, next Saturday at this time, and on Sunday when we will be doing when I will be doing my live week ahead on the day of the full moon, because the full moon in Libra is next Sunday. Have a better week ahead. Oh, thank you, Poonam. Yes, this week will be fine. I'm quite busy this week. I've got quite a few of you lovely people having sessions with me. So it'll be good to meet you properly. Just let me tell you that apart from like, comment, and subscribe, I'm going to start from tomorrow using Teams, Google Teams. So that's going to be my method of connecting with you, because Skype is closing down. Even though it's not to the end of April, it's kind of, I've transferred myself to Teams. So I'm going to give it a go tomorrow with the client I've got in the afternoon. Let's hope that works. I love you all. Oh, thank you, Poonam. Bless you. Okay, guys, listen, have a great week. You're all awesome. And remember, be the phoenix. Rise from the ashes and be glorious. Shine beautifully. Bye for now, guys. Bye. Bye, guys.